Hey CQ fans, Joel Green here, and yeah, don't adjust your TV. Well, I guess you wouldn't be watching a TV, but your computer there, because yes, I'm in a cowboy hat. You see, I want to tell you a quick story, and I'm holding a guitar, but that doesn't mean anything because I'm just holding it because it's cool, and it's always here in my office, and I never get to play it or touch it because I don't know how to play guitar, but it's really cool. So I'm wearing this hat because recently we were in Texas. I want to tell you a quick story. Recently we were in Texas to do a show. We did a couple shows. And, I'm going to Texas. So when you think about going to Texas, you think, oh, man, I'll get you some boots. Give me a cowboy hat. Say yee-haw. Because that's what everybody does in Texas, right? Not everybody. Just so you guys know. It's not everybody. But I didn't get the boots. I didn't walk around saying yee-haw because nobody was saying that. But I did see a lot of cowboy hats. A lot of cowboy hats. So I thought, you know what? That'd be pretty cool. I think while I'm in Texas, I'm going to go country. You know what I'm saying? Do a little cut. Again, I can't play the guitar, so don't expect anything magical happening over here. I'm just holding it. I was in Texas, and I thought, man, I got to get me a cowboy hat. We're going to do a show. And on the show in Texas, I want to wear a genuine cowboy hat. So I walk into a cowboy hat store. This is a true story, by the way. I'm not making any of this up. Walk into a cowboy hat store, and sure enough, they had this huge wall of cowboy hats, like enormous wall. Now, I don't know much about cowboy hats, but what I do know is there's a name called Stetson. And I knew that if you got a Stetson, that's like a real cowboy hat. At least that's what I'd heard. So I see this wall, and I see all these other brands, and I'm sure they're great cowboy brands too, but only brand I knew was Stetson. So I'm looking, and boom, I see Stetson, all these hats. And this hat happened to be on a Stetson rack. So I thought, oh my goodness, I like this hat. It says Stetson. I'm going to get me a true Texas cowboy hat. So I bought the hat, no kidding, bought the hat, walked out of the store, started walking down the street, and I noticed when I was walking, I started to walk with like a crook in my walk, like I just gotten off me a horse and stuff, even though I didn't, I was driving in a vehicle. But anyhow, I had this walk going, and I just had to pull off my hat and look at my hat, the bottom side of it, and I see, wait a minute. That doesn't say Stetson. That says something else. It's not a Stetson. I didn't buy a real cowboy hat. I didn't buy a Stetson. But then I started looking at the hat when I was passing the mirrors. You're walking down the side, you see yourself in the mirror, and you go, man, that's a good-looking cowboy hat. So I felt pretty good about it. I didn't get a Stetson, but I felt really good about it. So I wore it with confidence the very next day when we did a show. We were out right outside of Dallas where we did this show. And I showed up, and I'm meeting the people, and we're getting ready to start filming, and the guy says to me, that the guy who's my co-host on the show, he said, so where'd you get your hat from, California? And I went, what? What are you talking about, buddy? I got me a genuine Texas cowboy hat while I was out here. And he laughed, and he goes, Sonny, Texans don't wear cowboy hats that look like that. You look like you got that in California or some beach somewhere. So, it's okay. I was maybe thinking that I didn't get a true cowboy hat, but I liked my hat, and so I wanted to wear it. And that's the only reason why I told you that story, because I wanted to wear my hat on this vlog today while I act like I played the guitar. I don't play the guitar. We did a show at Fender, as many of you probably know, and so Fender was kind enough to send me a nice guitar after we were done, and so it just sits here as a museum piece in my office. Really cool piece. I did want to show you though something. I always get asked about this. This is one of our old DVD covers that gets sent out when you order a show, or when we send them out to places that when we're going to a location. Like we're going to a couple new shows pretty soon, and so what we always do is we always send them one of our programs so they can see what our show looks like, and what the end result's going to be. And one of the very common questions that people, businesses primarily, ask me when they see the show, and they said, hey, you play the guitar? And I said, well, no, I don't. So there's two things that are wrong with this picture. The first thing is, I don't play the guitar. And people ask me all the time, like, oh, cool, you play the guitar. I said, no, we did a show at Fender Guitars, and I was acting like I was playing the guitar. And they're like, oh, okay. The other thing that's wrong with this picture, and really only guitar people ask me about this, because only, I think, guitar people would notice it. They say, hey, you're a left-handed guitar player. And I say, no, first of all, I'm not left-handed, and second of all, I don't play the guitar. And I know why they're asking, because when you look at this picture, it looks like I'm playing the guitar like this with my left hand, when truly I'm right-handed and I play the guitar like this. But the graphic designer who did this cover flipped the image so it looks like I'm playing the guitar like this when I truly don't play left-handed. And as I've already told you, I don't play at all. So anyhow, there's some fun facts behind the scene there. Let's see, a couple things I wanted to do. First of all, I'm not going to read a bunch of Quest letters this week. So many we're having problems with our server now. We've got a lot of letters coming in. Thank you guys so much. Keep them coming in. So many great letters. But what I wanted to do was read a couple that we have here on Facebook. We get a lot of Quest letters that have been coming in on Facebook. And you know, kids, if you're listening to this or watching this, make sure you get your parents, if you guys are connected to Facebook, to like our page. We do a lot of giveaways. In fact, when I was in Texas, I visited the NASA Space Center. And I started taking pictures all over the place. I was taking pictures with my cell phone, just took a picture of me at a location or where I was, and then I was posting it on Facebook, and I was having you guys that were on Facebook guess where I was. And whoever was the most accurate, we sent them some gifts. And so when I was at the NASA Space Center, I got a whole bunch of freeze-dried ice cream. Yeah, like ice cream in a bag that the astronauts eat, supposedly. So we got a bunch of freeze-dried ice cream. It was really cool, and so we were sending those off. And then we have a bunch of Curiosity Quest Frisbees. I used to have one on my wall right here, and it fell down recently, so I'm not quite sure where it's at. But anyhow, Curiosity Quest Frisbees that we've been sending out too. So, and that's just for guessing something right on our Facebook fan page. So if you or your parents haven't liked our page, make sure you do that, because we're going to be traveling pretty soon, and I'm going to be doing the same thing, taking some pictures and having you guess where we're at. But anyhow, I want to read a couple of Quest letters. I got a letter from Steve Ogle, and he wanted to know, I would like to find out how seeing dogs for the blind get trained. And Steve, we did this show about 3 years ago. Man, this was one of the coolest shows I think we've ever done. We won a Telly Award for the show. I believe that. Yeah, we won a Telly Award for the show. It was so awesome. It's in my top 10 letters, or top 10 shows that we've done. Was on Seeing Eye Dogs for the Blind. We not only learned how dogs get trained on this show, but we learned how the trainers train the dogs. And it was really fascinating because they blindfolded me. I mean, it was very respectful. They were the ones who suggested it, and of course I was all game. They blindfolded me, and I had to have a dog basically take me around this obstacle course. And it was so amazing to give up complete control and to be, guided by a Seeing Eye Dog. So I mean, it was awesome. One of my favorite shows. You can check it out on your station because it'll still air, or you can order the show if you're interested at CuriosityQuestStore.com. But really, really fascinating show. One of my favorite shows we've ever done. Let's see. We got a couple of letters. I know I'm running a little long, so I wanna give a thank you to recent likes. So every day we get new people that like our fan page. And I don't think we give them enough props. So what I want to do is I want to read just a couple thank yous of some of the more recent people that liked us. Jenneth, thank you. Sophia, thank you. Patrick, Chrissy, Armand. Let's see. I have to scroll down the page now. Gretchen, Linda, Franklin, Chris, Jordan, Joseph, Christian, Steve, Kyle, Justin, Susan, Melody, Abish, Sandy. Thank you guys so much for liking us. We really appreciate that. Again, on Facebook, we really try to be respectful. We try to post really good and fun stuff. We call it edutaining stuff, like our show. But thank you guys. Rio, I'm just reading a couple more names over my shoulder. Rio, Blake, Sarah. Thank you guys so much for liking our page and continue to follow us. And again, if you're not, make sure you do. The last thing I want to leave you with is, as I mentioned, we're going to be traveling pretty soon, and we're going to be doing a couple shows. One show that I'm uberly excited about. Oh my goodness, is uber a word? I mean, it's really a word. I'm not sure. But really, really excited about doing this show, and that is on race cars. Race cars, like those kind of race cars. how they build them. Yeah, how they build them. So what I'm curious, you guys tell me what you're curious. I'm curious, what do you guys want to know about race cars? Post either right below this vlog right here, post on our Facebook fan page, send us an email, it doesn't matter. Let me know what you want to know about race cars. And if we get some really good ideas, I'll ask them during the show. The other show that we're going to be doing is on goats. Some of you may be thinking this sounds like a bad idea, but it's not. I just want to say bad. Do goats do that? I know sheep do that. I'm not even sure if goats go. Well, let me know, first of all, do goats do that? But same thing. I want to know what you want to know about goats. This is kind of we have a really cool quest letter, about a paragraph long. This person wanted to know all about goats. And so we're going to go do a show on it, how they raise them. And I guess I get to be a goat farmer for a day. So pretty cool. So let us hear from you. Let me know what are some things about these two topics that you want me to ask during the show. And as always, let me know what you're curious about. Any questions you have. I've been answering a lot of these personally on the vlog and on Facebook. So make sure you guys let me hear from you. All right, that's it. And as a true Texan would say, we're out of here. I actually don't know what a true Texan would say, but what I would say is, I'll see you later.